Welcome to the Emo Social Club Podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening, finally, with online besties, now IRL-ish besties, Pulses. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Oh, hello.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody on an individual mic, individually in a room, all together. We're big fans of it.
Sitting right in the studio. We make all the shit here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
We're not the band get in a room and jam type writers, but we are band get in a room type podcasters. You know?
So you're not saying, so you're saying you're not a jam band.
No, not really.
You're a jam podcaster.
If we are jamming things, we're jamming.
We make jams.
Yeah.
But
the only time we ever like just jam at practice is playing like bad Asking Alexandria and Avenged Sevenfold covers. And that's really it.
Fuck yeah.
with a single pedal.
With a single pedal
and play double bass.
and us only like halfway knowing all the riffs. So that's about it.
Isn't that most Avenged Sevenfold songs? Because they're like 4 to 7 minutes long. After a certain point, you're like, I don't know, hey.
You get like halfway through it, and then you're like, yeah, you got it.
It's enough.
We can do something else now. Yeah, it's
Don't rush them. You know, let them work. Let them cook.
Listen, they have Dear God halfway through. You're like, yeah, Dear God, and then it's fine.
Yeah,
dude, let Sinister Gates cook. So I'll have you introduce yourselves, and here's my icebreaker question for you as you go around and tell us who you are, what you do in the band. I noticed that in your new music video, Kevin, you're wearing a Paramore albums t-shirt. So I'm going to ask, now that Paramore put out their new song today, which I fucking love,
I think it's great.
what is your top #1 Paramore record of all of them? And you conclude this is why, even though it's only 3 songs
Not fully
so far.
out yet. You have 3 songs. Make it work.
Right.
That's technically an EP right now. All right.
But yeah, your name, what you do, and their favorite Paramore record.
Okay. I'm Caleb. I do guitar and vocals for the band. Definitely favorite Paramore record. Their first one, All We Know Is Falling.
I'm Matt. I also do guitar and vocals. My favorite is Brand New Eyes, probably.
That's
but
the
I
right
think
answer.
the new one might creep up though, because these singles have all been really good. I don't know.
And I'm Kevin. I play drums, do vocals sometimes, write words. And my favorite is All We Know Is Falling.
That is also the correct answer.
Yeah.
I
We can
did.
discuss this.
I will say, like, I got some All We Know Is Falling vibes on this new song that they put out, the French one.
A little bit.
Yeah.
CCC. There you go.
C'est comme
It's fine.
ça.
That comes out.
It's got some All We Know Is Falling vibes on it. Like her vocals sound a bit more like that, and the guitars and drums sound a little bit more that direction, the early direction.
Yeah, I think it's a little punkier than what they've been doing. So like I get a huge block party vibe from it, and I think that's what they're
Yeah, they definitely said that, and like when they were first introducing it, even on that didn't they do like a Rolling Stone article like way back when?
Block Party, like
Dance punk.
Dance punk.
So I remember reading that shit. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah,
Here we go.
It's gonna be good.
This is gonna be for me.
It's a classic.
And it is, because all 3 of the singles have been fucking fire. They're like, honestly, like The News is one of my favorite Paramore songs they put out in like a long time.
Same.
Not that I dislike the stuff that they've done, like at all, but like it just really.
Yeah, Paramore has like one of the more stellar discographies from like a band in their era. I don't think they missed like at all.
There's not a bad record in
like they don't have a bad record. Like you may like some sounds more than others, but none of them are bad at all by any stretch.
That's the real correct answer.
They don't miss. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
if you were to talk to somebody and say like what bands like really just don't miss it, you would probably say like Paramore and like My Chem, because I don't feel like they had that much of a bad song either.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unless you're a Danger Days hater. Who is a Danger Days hater here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a Danger Days hater. I'm just an MCR hater. But that's just.
Ooh.
I don't think they're bad. I just don't like them. Like
You
they're
say
a
that
great
to
band.
Brian's little Gerard Ways back there.
I'm sorry. It's like I think that they are like an incredible band. I just like it's never hit for me.
Guys,
like,
we started off this really
I know.
well.
Now, again, it's like great band.
Here's
not
the thing.
for me.
Have you never been depressed?
I have. It just doesn't. Yeah. It's just it was. See what happened with me is like I went from like metal to like metalcore to like scene stuff through that way. so I missed a lot of the like even like we were talking about Fall Out Boy. It's like I don't really listen to Fall Out Boy like you two do, like because I got into them later because I just wasn't like the only pop punk I was listening to or like that side of emo or whatever was like Paramore and Blink. So it's like I missed the whole MCR thing, and then I came onto it late, and I tried to be like, yeah, this is cool, and then I was like, it's just not for me. But it's like it's good, but it's not for me.
There's a different form of depression for My Chem and Paramore. Like they're the same emotion, but you're feeling them in different ways as you hear them. So I definitely get it. Of like, yeah, this hit me differently. I also like had MCR though get me into like the metal and the hardcore and the Avenged Sevenfold. I was a big Avenged Sevenfold back in the day.
That was like I went from that straight into metal and then back into emo. I think that's where I just zigged past.
Yeah, it's like, and then our trajectory was a little different too, because I know we come from just like, we grew up listening to like R&B, like hip hop type stuff, and then we got into Linkin Park because Collision Course. So we came from the like, we like Jay-Z, so we'll listen to this, and then that's how we got huge into Linkin Park, and then from there was like getting into like Fall Out Boy, and then from there like Silverstein, and that's how I got into like the post-hardcore. But yeah, for some reason MCR was just not. I mean, I of course knew them, but I didn't grow up on it the same way.
It was very passive for me. Like I know all the singles. I actually really like the first record a lot. Past that, all the ones that everybody was singing at emo night, like, that kind of thing. But
and the other thing too was just like for me growing up, I didn't have like scene and emo kids. I remember looking back in my yearbook, like a couple years ago or whatever, looking at my middle school yearbook, there was literally 2 scene kids whole yearbook. Like one was wearing like an Escape the Fate shirt. No, nobody else. I was listening to it back then, but I didn't look the part. But yeah, so it was just like I didn't even have necessarily somebody that like everybody was. That was back when I was like definitely in the school of you listen to MCR, the emo shit, wham, like
boo-hoo, ambulance.
So I just kind of kept that to myself.
We had emo kids at my school, but they were like Attack, A Day to Remember, like Bring Me the Horizon emo kids. They weren't like even then, like they weren't that into MCR. So I think that's why I just like it wasn't around me. I don't know.
See, now you say that, and I'm like, okay, so my problem is that like I was in high school. I was in high school like with people who are friends with Fall Out Boy because they went to like the nearby school. So like everybody was just like kind of just breaking. Like this was like I graduated the year that MCR really like broke out into the mainstream. So I have to remember like, there were emo kids, but it was like the start of it. Right. I'm like, like how did you not go to school with emo kids?
You had the real emo kids, Brian.
I was like I had like the popular kids were super into Fall Out Boy, which is why I didn't like Fall Out Boy, because they were like, we shop at Hollister and we like Fall Out Boy. Can we sit at the table with you? And I was like, no, dude, I'm a real emo and I'm real metal. And then I was just like, you're like, no,
this
I'm
little
fucking
theater
lame.
Kid Brian over here, like, don't talk to me. I'm so too metal for you. And he does like a monologue, whatever theater kids do.
Death Bat shirt. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was me. That was me too.
But it's like the first record, Avenged Sevenfold, was out at the time, and that was it. It was before it was like really Avenged Sevenfold. It was like, no, we just really like AFI and have played Warped Tour. And I was like, that could be me. And then they were like, no, now we're Guns N' Roses. It's like, no, you're not. You're Avenged Sevenfold.
First of all, no one needs another Guns N' Roses in the 2000s.
Yeah, we don't even need one Guns N' Roses.
Correct.
No.
Really, if we're being honest.
Man, the dads in the chat are pissed.
Yeah, for sure.
That's okay.
Lizzie, I set you up for a perfect transition into the single that just came out. So I'm going to let you take this transition as the radio host in the podcast. So
what about dads in the chat being pissed?
No, about the Paramore and the video thing. I was like, let's do that.
That's really far back.
You can do it. You're fine. You're a professional.
Yeah, we
Linkage?
ramble. We go on tangents.
Perfect.
Wow,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Lizzie's a professional. She's got this. We're gonna all sit back and let you do it.
Now this is like a silly challenge.
Sure is.
Oh man, I think with my
be way back
1.5 brain cell, because Brian has the other one. So While the dads in the chat are very pissed that there's no other Guns N' Roses, but they are a little stoked because some of them do so like Paramore because they're hip and they're like the modern emo dads. How can you influence the up and coming emo, soon to be emo dads with Run the Ghouls?
We made it.
Yeah.
5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. It was a hard challenge. 5 out of 10.
I'm gonna try to answer it as directly as possible. How can we? What, like,
my dad likes it.
Yeah,
so
yeah. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
it's
his
my
dad
dad's
likes
favorite
it.
song of ours. So we got one. We got one.
My dad doesn't like any of our music.
Or show him this transition. Does he like Guns N' Roses?
He doesn't like them either.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like they appreciate this shit. At least at this point, I think he respects it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Your mom likes some of it.
yeah, my mom actually is like she. I mean, of
She
course,
became a fan.
yeah, she
Over
doesn't listen to
time.
any like scream music or like any like emo music or whatever. But you know, she's happy with us too. So she likes it. She'll listen to it all the time.
I'd like to just point out that if it wasn't obvious, we're related.
Oh yeah.
We have the same mom and dad.
Yeah.
Some people don't get it, so I just want to make it known.
I mean,
It happens.
yeah, it should be a thing of just like, you know, hey, I'm glad that you're doing it. You know, I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're making the music that you love, and you just keep doing that. And you know, I hope your show goes really well. I won't be
Exactly.
there, but I hope
Yeah,
that
like,
you have
but
a
you
good
can
show.
like
Exactly
text me
it.
and let me know.
You know?
Like that'd be chill.
We've played, like, we've been a band for like what, 7 years?
Something like that.
And our parents have been to one show. So
And that was at the very beginning, and we fucking sucked. I mean, it's like compared to now, I don't think we were garbage back then, but of course, it's just like we
We're
were
a lot
very
better now.
unpolished.
Yeah.
So I just keep thinking, like in my head, they still think that's how
They're
we
like,
play, and they're probably just like, how the fuck are they still out here doing this shit,
Yeah.
playing like that?
The next time you like sell at a show, you'll be like, guys, that's sold out, and be like, how the fuck? Like, excuse me?
People like that shit.
They're like,
What
damn,
the fuck?"
people must like bad music nowadays, huh?
Back in my day with Guns N' Roses.
Oh no, not the Guns N' Roses.
Oh man.
I
Not
would-
for them. They're just like, oh, y'all don't sound like Temptation, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're not Bruno Mars over here. So sorry,
Why don't
besties.
you do a little bit more of that, you know, singing in your songs,
Right,
right? You do so
yeah.
much of the,
Stevie Wonder's a real musician. You should be like him.
You should be like him.
I would
Just like
get like my parents being like, oh, I want to come to the show. It's like, it's late. I'm like, maybe next time. And I mean, during the day, it's like, no.
yeah.
Well, I probably wouldn't like know any songs anyway. It's like, yeah, probably not.
Oh no.
They want to learn your own songs? Damn.
I wouldn't play them my songs.
I remember, this is like kind of a tangent, but it just reminded me when I was in like one of my first bands ever. It was like back when everyone was doing like the Christian metalcore thing,
Mhm.
and we were playing at my church, and I remember like we like announced at the church service like, hey, we're doing like a show, you know, if anyone wants to come. And I'm like, why are we doing it? Like, why are y'all making us tell them this? It's a bunch of old people, like they're not gonna know. And I remember like this one lady like got up and she's like, oh, are you gonna have like the lyrics printed out so we can sing along? And we were like, no, it's not that kind of.
It's not that.
It's not that kind. Like we were covering like Devil Wears Prada and like A
Yeah.
Day to Remember, and it was like, it's not. Never mind. Don't come.
Like, don't come. It's okay. Tell your like kid to come. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That reminds me, I was like looking at my Spotify today. They're like, oh, for more fans of Linkin Park, and one of the top results for the playlist for a Spotify generated playlist was "This is Cornerstone," and it was all the Christian rock music. And I was like,
All right.
oh no.
Oh man. Yeah. It was rough back then when that was the whole scene for some reason.
You had to let them have their time, and then let them get bullied out, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a lesson learned. That's what
Yeah.
what God wanted, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
eventually denounce the faith.
Yeah.
Like all of them do.
Yeah.
And say
Almost.
fuck like 8 times on your record just to really drive the point
That's how
home.
you know.
Yeah.
And that's also when you know that they're not as good of a band anymore.
Damn, Caleb.
Oh man.
To
See,
let
we
Jesus
said we
out of
had
their
takes.
hearts.
We had takes.
We were saying too. We were saying before we were recording, so we'll just make sure the audience knows. you can have a different take. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
These are our
like
takes.
things.
And we think that some of these bands were better when they let the Lord and the light into their heart, and they wrote songs called Dogs Can Grow Hair All Over and things like that.
Oh, they fucking played that shit when we saw them recently, and it was crazy. Like,
They know their roots.
They know what the kids really want.
They know their
roots above and
branches below.
Yep.
Got 'em.
Yeah.
Got 'em. We got
All
fans. We got fans, you know.
Oh man.
It is interesting to be like how do you I went to church shows for bands that we just rented out the church, you know, the church just letting us play a show here, and it would be like whatever, you know, it's just a bunch of bands from the suburbs and shit that would come through. But I'm like, was there anybody like from the church who was like, oh, I'm just gonna go check out the show that's happening?
I
I'm gonna
think
go
it
check out
happened
the
at
gig.
ours. I think it happened at ours, and they didn't stay for very long. But I think they showed up. I don't remember really, but yeah, I don't know. We had like a weird scene where I lived because I grew up in like West Virginia, so it was like we had like a bunch of like stoner like deathcore kids, and then we had like the Christcore scene, and there was like
Oh my god, that's a
and they both
mix.
hated each other, and it was just yeah.
I mean, they're probably just thinking like they go in there like these damn kids,
Yeah.
these dang kids, they're gonna be damned to hell. But you know, whatever gets them in God's house, you know,
Whatever
we'll
gets
let
them,
it go.
maybe they'll leave with a nice
that's literally
pamphlet.
what they were like. Like they were like, yeah, we're gonna get like all the mountain kids that are just like doing meth and listening to Chelsea Grin to come in here and hear Jesus.
Convert to God.
Yeah, it was a time.
Wait, were these like the Christian like mega churches, or was it like
Oh,
actual
no.
like old like Catholic churches? Or
It was like an old Episcopal church. So
okay.
and then they had like a community center that was just like an old building that like had like a gym in it, and that's where we did the shows. We only did a few of them, but there was another church that we went to, or not that I went to as going to the church, but like would do shows all the time. That was like, it still wasn't a mega church, but it was like a little more modern. And they just had like shows there all the time. Like they had like the dude from Korn's other band come play there. Like Love and Death played there. They had some cool bands play there. That one was like actually kind of popping, but
Oh my
yeah.
god.
A well-known venue church.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, how do we get like hardcore church shows to come back in 2023?
I
Or
don't
are we
know.
done?
The Philly
Oh.
church is still doing it though.
yeah,
right?
that the Unitarian Unitarian in Philly does it.
Yeah, they still do
Um,
shows all the time.
Yeah.
I know one of the churches by me when I was in high school and like undergrad, they brought Crucial Dudes out, and I was so stoked because I love Crucial Dudes. It was the only time I fucking saw them, and I got my ass handed to me in that pit because it was all on the same floor. That was probably like my first actual like, not like hardcore, but like show like that. And I just keep thinking like they let this happen in this
Yeah.
very like uppity town at a
Yeah.
church.
Yeah. I got pushed through a wall at one of those church shows. Like
Was it one of those foldable walls?
no, it was like an actual wall.
Oh
Like,
my
I got pushed
god.
through the wall, like not all the way through it, but just like through the drywall part of it. And the dude that did it worked there, and he was just like, "Oh shit!"
Okay, so it's not your
Like,
fault.
he was-
That's his fault.
Yeah,
he
no, he,
knew
like,
what he
he-
was doing.
Yeah, he was like helping with the show and everything, and he was in the pit, and he like pushed me through the wall, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble."
Damn.
I mean, he has to fix it, you know?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, it's at a church. Jesus has to forgive him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the number
Jesus
one
was a
thing.
carpenter.
He
Jesus,
just went. He
Jesus
just
is
went to
covered.
confession afterwards. He's fine.
We're gonna
He's
get smited for
fine.
this conversation.
Look, if the Devil Wears Prada can renounce it, and
Yeah.
if Under Oath can renounce it, like I think we'll be fine. You
Oh
know,
man.
like they're still out here doing it.
Right.
So I don't do transitions. I just go right into a question
fine.
that's
No, that's
completely
fine.
different. I'm not Lizzie. I'm not a professional. Your single "Run the Ghouls" came out just last month, and I know the music video came out with it. Like, how's the reception been? How is it going? Let's hype up people to go check it out if they haven't, and let's talk about it a little bit.
It's been good. We've been really happy with it. I mean, we're always surprised anytime we drop a new song or whatever that people are still fucking with it because we're just like, this is the time we're gonna fuck up.
When is our
like
flop
real
era?
bad, and everybody's just gonna be like, dog, that shit was not it.
It was
Your parents are
It
gonna
was
be
Speak
like,
Less, Caleb.
this again?
Yeah.
Well, Speak Less wasn't as great, but the people that appreciated
Yeah, the people that liked it
and then
liked
some
it.
people just didn't get it. But at least they didn't tell us to our face, like,
Yeah,
dog,
that's true.
that was ass. But anyway, it's been good, and it's been keeping our morale up as we're still finishing up the record that it's going to be on. And yeah.
Definitely.
It's a cool one. I like it. I'm excited to play it live. We haven't played it yet, but we're playing it in like 2 weeks, and I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I think it's like a good first step for where we're going. I don't know. It's a little bit of the same because it's like still got some of the rappy stuff always involved, but it's also kind of like a little different. It's not the same like progressive post-hardcore that we used to do. Like it's kind of progressing in a different way. You know, I'm just happy to have a foot continuing with the running puns.
Yeah.
A foot in that direction.
It's
Now, with
progressive on
that-
progressive.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Now, with
Like
this
a
new
wave
change in
progression.
music, though, do you still subscribe to Fischer Price screamo?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that
Um,
mean per se?
That was we were on a interview with Good Noise podcast, and they asked us to describe Speak Less in 3 words, and Caleb just rattled that off out of nowhere, and it was like, yep, we're keeping that.
It's screamo for babies.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I always, because it's just like the whole goal for that like project was trying to do like some like classic like screamo shit on some of the songs. So it's like, what was it, like Circle Takes a Square, or like Normal
Orchid.
Prieta, or Seisha. But at the same time, I'm just like, I know I'm not as good as those bands. I'm not gonna like say this is the same level of screamo as them, so I'm gonna just say Fischer Price screamo. This is
Yeah.
for people that you can get in. It's like the segue into screamo, maybe.
yeah, the intro.
We'll be your gateway band. That's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be the MCR
just-
for a generation.
Oh, man.
I would eat that up, honestly.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Or whatever.
Someone else
it is.
compares you then in like a future interview, and they're like, "Yeah, you're like this generation's MCR for like metalcore," and you're gonna be like, "Yeah, so about that."
I think, because I know you guys also have described yourselves as like a swancore type band too.
Mhm.
At least it was hashtagged in some of it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Which is also like the far end of it, you know? It's like, oh, I'm into like the stuff that's just very like straightforward, verse, chorus, whatever, maybe a solo here and there. And then there is swancore, which is like, for some people, hard to get into. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I get it. I like it. It's just like,
Yeah.
this is exactly what makes sense. And they're like, there's just too much guitar and there's too much vocals and there's too much,
Yeah.
too much stuff. And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? That's great. I listen to Avenged Sevenfold. I like it when it goes on forever. So I think it's like, if you're getting the progressive of progressive, it's like, yeah, we're just getting like a little bit farther in that realm of like where the music gets to like, we're doing everything, but it's really good.
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do. And like, I feel like we kind of did a little bit with Speak It Into Existence. All the mixing that we like to do, other genres, like the bass is post-hardcore. So that's why another thing in our bio is post-hardcore type beat. Because just like, it's all like relatively post-hardcore, but then we take in, on Louisiana Purchase, we took in like bounce music. And then this Warp Breaks, we took in go-go because we're from, go-go is a big thing. We're not from DC, but we're like south of DC. Anyway,
DMV area.
DMV. And Mount Midoriyama, the one that features Sierra from With Tells Ahead, that's a J-rock influence. Pulling from different places, and that's how we find is our progressive, our sense of progressive. Kind of based on, or not based on traditional way to think about it. Prog rock and this, but it's like we're progressing post-hardcore into like different lanes that it hasn't really been in before.
Hardcore.
And we're gonna push it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's effectively it.
Yeah. Which is like, and that's what like the new record is as well. It's like a lot of the stuff on there is just us, taking something else and being like, all right, we're gonna put the two together and stuff. So yeah, that's the ethos. Really.
Mm-hmm.
So when you stand out like this with so many different like diverse like ranges that you can go into, what are the type of bands that you're thinking about building a bill with when you are trying to organize like a show or a tour?
Well, with Sales Ahead, we pretty much always tour with, just because they're like our best friends and we fit with them pretty well musically. I don't know. We'll kind of play with anybody, really.
I mean, generally, I feel like since we're still like kind of early when it comes to like getting out there and like touring,
Yeah, we don't
further
tour a
out.
lot.
So at least right now, because it's like, you know, we're all working on normal jobs. Our time is valuable in the sense of, you know, us being able to get together and actually go out for like only like a week or whatever. We're gonna do that. We want to do it with people we actually like care about and fuck with. So I feel like for the most part, the people that we want to play with are just the people that we vibe with on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so than like what type of music they make.
Yeah, it's like that matters way more than the music. And it's like sometimes that overlaps. But like again, with Sales Ahead, or like we toured with I Met Yeti, and it's like that made sense to a lot of people, but it's also like they're cool people, so we wanted to tour with them. But yeah, I mean, like I know we would love to tour with like Callous Cowboys, and it's like we don't really sound like Callous Cowboys, but we like hanging out with Callous Cowboys, so it would be fun. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of more I don't know.
And I think like at least sound wise, you know, going forward, we always when we play shows, just like one-off shows or whatever, we will kind of cater our sound or like our set to the show. So like we've played like pop punk shows where we play our songs that have less screaming in it, or we'll play like a hardcore, like strictly like hardcore show, and play like all the fast like riffy shit, you know, like so we can try to fit in with them, even though we still sing and we still do like, you know, like 4 breaks and have a go-go dance break in the middle. But like we'll cater it that way, so it's like I would be hard pressed to turn down or with somebody just because they sound slightly different, because I think that we can just make, and I think mixed bills are really cool anyway. So, you know, I would want to go on tour with a rapper or go on tour with like singer-songwriter or something. Thursday just did it. Like Nate Bergman, I've seen him like
he's on everything
3 times, but he sounds nothing like Thursday. So it's just like I think we need just more of that. Mix everything together.
I will see because I saw the chat.
Only.
Yeah,
I see the chat saying Pulses says had nightlife and home team.
That would
be
go
a
crazy.
sick tour.
That's actually very important.
Yeah.
And again, those are all people that make great music and just good
And
people
we
in
have
general.
talked to.
Now, here's the thing. If that did happen, you have to pick one person from each band, and per Hansel, you guys would have to cover a Hoobastank song.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine.
We're good.
Don't even play
Caleb,
out.
Caleb love Hoobastank.
I will do that shit without even any like.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
I will.
We
will
found
fuck
out
around
that
and play
Hansel's
some
like
Calling in the
number
Dark.
1 Hooba stan.
Hooba stand.
I love that.
Hooba stand.
We're gonna have to talk to them about that. Like,
Yep.
that's incredible.
That was quite the conversation. It went on a very long time about Hoobastank. Like,
Yeah,
Incredible.
like we
I
went
think we've
in
talked
on
more
like
about
the
Hoobastank
Hooba
than
lore.
Hoobastank has.
Yeah,
I feel like our Hoobastank, like as far as like a weird thing that we stand, me and Caleb stand Alien Ant Farm.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
yeah.
Y'all
oh
are
my
really
god,
into it.
okay.
Yeah. Like, I loved Anthology by
Mhm.
Alien Ant Farm so much. It's such an underrated record. Yeah, Smooth Criminal is a fucking banger of a cover, but like the rest of the record is so just like there's a lot of musicianship.
It's pretty
And-
diverse too.
Yeah,
Their bass player ripped.
Yeah.
he's crazy.
Well, that's the other thing. The weakest quote unquote member of that band is the guitarist.
And
Yeah,
that,
you
like,
never see
The
Okay.
other 3 are fucking on it. Like the drummer, bassist, and the singer, they're on it all the time.
Guitar player's still good, but
Yeah,
like,
he's
Yeah.
still good.
He lays it down, but he's definitely not like the star of the shit, which is
Mhm.
it's cool. You know, it's not a lot of bands, especially of that era, that like that.
He's just the weakest link, all right, of that era too, of that game show from that era.
Oh my god.
Usually, if anybody doesn't know about Alien Ant Farm, I just say go listen to the song "Movies" and you'll be a fan
Yes.
immediately. That song
Movies
is
is one of
incredibly
the
good.
best songs of that time.
Yeah.
Period.
It's a perfect song.
ever.
It's a perfect song.
It's like, and we now are we are hoping that we can do some work ourselves to bring back like nu metal and butt rock into the mainstream. And like we obviously love, you know, the emo revival. It's cool. It's nice. It's fun. Whatever. Fucking give me a Nickelback tour. I'll be there. I'll be fun.
I'll be,
I'll be at the
and he'll
fucking
be there
Nickelback tour.
unironically.
well,
No, you
y'all had
fucking-
Hinder on here, right? So
Yeah,
you're
no,
They're coming
next
on.
week.
They're coming
coming
on.
on.
No,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
26. Sorry,
Yeah.
the 26. Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
saying it again. It's just like that lips of an angel.
Yeah, Caleb unironically loves that song.
That's fine.
It's
It
great.
is.
Anytime that song comes on, I will be singing that shit at the top of my fucking lungs.
It's kind of absurd. Like that song just goes hard in any moment of any time. Like just put it on. It's like, nope, we're doing this. We got 3.5 minutes here. We'll get back to whatever we were talking about when the song is done, but I gotta go off.
I just gotta do it right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll be singing so hard. I'm like, this man is singing about cheating.
Like someone hurt this man so bad.
It's just okay.
Who did
look,
it? I want to fight whoever hurt him.
And I mean, you know, we can practice our questions for Hinder in 2 weeks tonight. But all I'm saying is like, you know, everyone's going through their shit, and sometimes the grass looks greener on the other side. We've all been there. We all understand it. I've never written a song about it,
Right.
and I wouldn't, you know,
You don't think you can go that hard in a song?
2008, very
It was-
different time.
Yeah, it was a wasteland back then. It was,
If the song goes, the song goes. I don't.
Yeah.
Can't be denied.
I can't argue that.
I mean, what is everybody's favorite butt rock song? Like, without any like cancelable takes included with some of them.
Yeah, no.
Let's
Talking about
let's be
cancelable.
honest.
We're all
Most
just, we're all
butt
just
rocks.
like trapped. We all just answer trapped.
Yo,
Yeah.
Trapt
No,
just
no,
played
definitely
at a
not.
bar
Yeah.
that's
Can
like
we
10
shout
minutes
out-
from my house.
They
last
just played in
weekend.
Chicago on January 6th.
No, they didn't play Chicago. They played Bolingbrook, Illinois.
They played in.
Oh, no.
They're not allowed in the city of Chicago. They played
they're
in the
not.
suburbs outside of the city
Yeah.
of Chicago on
Naturally.
January 6th. And I'm like,
I'm sure he had a lot to say about that.
Damn.
on
Oh,
stage, too.
probably.
that people
I
aren't
should ask-
fighting to get in there.
You know
Yeah,
what's
I'm
funny is
like-
that the bar that it was at is the bar that my grandpa goes to hang out at
Oh man.
because his friend owns it. And I was gonna be like, "Hey, Grandpa, I'm gonna have a word with you."
Let's have a quick question for you. Where was your grandpa on January 6th?
My grandpa was not there. He was here.
Sorry. 2023. My bad.
I think you. I don't
let me,
think.
Let me clarify.
No, wait, that was a Thursday. That was a Thursday, right?
I don't know. I
Uh-oh.
don't remember. I'll be honest. I think the joke is
let's
funnier
see.
than the knowledge.
This could be funny. No, it was a Friday. I was gonna say usually
Yeah.
it's tailgate or Thursday.
Well, fortunately, it's
it's a
tailgate.
Friday.
Tailgater Fridays, you know, going on down. Everybody come on in. If the doors are locked, just break a window. I hate it.
Just storm it. Like
If
the,
the guy
the
wasn't a
Constitution
Proud Boy-
wants you.
Storm the bar.
If the guy wasn't a Proud Boy, I would not be making jokes about him. But unfortunately,
Right.
like, dude sucks. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, maybe you could have
When
picked a
you're-
better date.
Yeah.
I think it was solely intentional, and we all know
Probably.
it. We all know it.
Yeah.
The other big issue is that it's a guy who booked the show that I've worked with on shows before. So that really got me just thinking like, hey,
Oh,
might not contact you for more shows
Red
because
flag.
you seem to be just taking a little gig wherever you can get it, even if it's
Oh.
That couldn't have even been a high paying gig. You know, like
they don't
You're
sell.
gonna have to
They
give me
don't
the
sell in
deets
the
after.
area. They-
You're about to
No.
have to give me the
Don't sell,
beats afterwards
period.
for that one.
the
mean,
Pandora numbers.
Oh my lord.
door numbers. When people just randomly hear us, they fucking love us. Like,
Yeah.
okay, but nobody's
Like, all
intentionally
right.
going out of their way.
Yeah.
You literally have to trap people. Got them.
Yeah.
Wow, look at
Anyway,
you. Anyway, what's everyone's favorite?
Favorite
What's your
butt
favorite
rocks?
butt rocks?
Maybe
I just
not
wanna-
trapped.
I just want to pick one that's like way out. It's not even. I don't know if it's really my favorite, but I just listened to it like yesterday. Crazy Town, Butterfly. That shit slaps.
Yep.
That shit slaps.
Yep.
The bass line on that. Come on.
He was just on a podcast, and I learned
Doing something problematic.
his actual name,
He
which
doesn't have a
is
real name.
not a real name. It's just like
Oh god.
it's like two words strung together, and I'm like, you can go by Jim again. Like it's fine.
By Jim?
You
What
don't need
was
to have
it?
like your. It's like two words, and I'm like, I'm not going to remember these two words in my brain. I'm not going to put the singer of Crazy Town's full name in my head and lose a childhood
Limited
memory.
space in here. That's not. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Like, I don't need that. I
I
will look
literally
it up
know
while everyone
nothing
else
about
is
that.
answering, though.
Yeah.
I don't know a thing about that band, and I want to keep it that way.
I don't know, Caleb. You got one?
I don't at the moment.
I want to say it would probably be like. I used to listen to buttrock back in the day, a little bit,
We all
not a
did.
lot,
It's okay.
but a little bit. Yeah.
See, these motherfuckers are ignoring the fact that they went the fuck off to 3 days grace at Emo
I was
Night.
gonna say,
first of
I feel
all-
like it might be 3 days grace.
there was a
early 3
reason
days
for that.
grace smacks. I don't want to slander right now.
No, 3 days grace. Like I still maintain. I think 1X is a good album. So I would probably
solid,
just say like something off of that's not like Riot or Animal I Have Become. Like maybe one of the other songs. I don't know. I have to listen to it again. It's been a while, but that's probably something by them. Probably.
It's a good album. Like I started hearing I Hate Everything About You being like played again like on like the rock radio stations, and I was like, and it was literally at like midnight 3 in the morning. I'm like,
Best time for it.
damn.
What's going down?
Someone's
Who
hurt.
hurt the music
Someone-
director?
yeah, they're sitting in that radio booth just.
Like actually,
Just
no.
like
There's my
Got it?
favorite Bud Rock record song. Polyamorous, Breaking Benjamin.
Fuck yeah.
oh my
Hell yeah.
god.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That song goes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Most bands like 3 Days Grace to me just sound like a kid who's really mad that his mom wouldn't bring him some bagel bites while he's in the middle of a Halo game. Like
Yeah.
that's all I
That's
hear
what
when
it's
I hear
for.
I Hate Everything About You.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean,
Or even just watching a Halo montage.
Yeah. Just
Oh
watching.
my god.
Well, it's like they
have
used
to
to do
find the
those
right
like Halo
AMV.
AMV
Yeah.
like
Yeah, the
compilation
AMV.
ones. It's like that's why I remember
it's
that's
an AMV classic.
the first time I heard "Forgotten" by Linkin Park was in one of those. It was someone taking a mongoose around the sand dunes, and it was just like, oh, "Forgotten." And I was like, "Yo, this song goes." Like, what is this?
You just have to find the quality AMVs and then like have a story with it, so you're like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
that's so tragic if this character actually went through.
Right.
also the singer of Crazy Town, it was mentioned in the chat as well. Shifty Shell Shock.
Incredible.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think we're all going to forget that after this conversation, but at the
That's
same
okay.
time,
Never forget
If we
that.
forget, that's better for all of us. That's okay.
Almost makes me want to retract my song.
like,
Why would he want to describe himself as shifty?
I
Maybe he
think,
thinks it's edgy, like it's
Yeah.
white boy edgy.
but like
Yeah.
saying those three words together is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like Shifty
It's
Shell
a
Shock.
Shell
yeah, it's a
shock.
little tongue twister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your name. That's
It's
your
like
name.
she shells by the seashore.
Yeah, you chose that. His name is Seth. You could just go by Seth.
Shifty Seth Shell Shock. See?
Shifty Seth Shell Shock.
See,
That's it.
you're gonna fuck up that name. You're gonna be at a show and be like, oh,
That's
Shifty
gonna be
Shell
the new challenge on TikTok. Everyone just say the dudes from Crazy
Yeah.
Town's real name.
Oh my
It's a
god.
tongue twister.
Everyone listening to Butterfly again because there's a TikTok trend trying to say the
Yeah.
singer's name.
I mean that's the strat nowadays. You gotta. Yeah.
You guys
gotta do
do
it.
post a lot of good. I mean, I'm mostly on Instagram. I don't get on TikTok, but I'm assuming you're posting them in both places because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, but you guys have been posting a lot of good TikToks and I don't know. It's like a lot of people just seem very like I don't want to do that, but the bands that then are like, no, I'm going to do that. And the fact that like you all, I also like the fact that there's different parts in the song that like you all are doing. So then you post like that specific part, and it's like, whoa, this song is a lot of stuff. I need to go check out the whole thing. And I'm like, Megamind. It's Megamind.
Yeah, it's like with the TikTok, it's like I feel like I'm in the middle somewhere where I'm like, I don't want to do this, but also I'm gonna do this. But I don't know. I go through like phases of I'm really enjoying posting stuff and like coming up with ideas, and then I'm like, all right, I don't want to post anything for like 3 weeks.
But it is helpful.
Yeah.
I think it's just like I wouldn't, as a band, shouldn't like cut yourself off. from,
Yeah,
like a creative outlet. I mean, if you don't like doing it, don't do it. Obviously, but
if it's really not for you, like
yeah,
I know there's been some bands that have tried it and they're just like, it's not for me,
Yeah.
and it's like that's fine. Don't don't
but
force
for me, I
yourself.
don't know. I like making.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just saying.
I leave
things.
that up to them. I don't.
Just
I
having
let
hot
them tell me
takes
what to
on
do.
there.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
honestly just start making hot takes on the band. Like
I mean,
Yeah.
that is probably how you.
I
get-
used to
you
do
get
it a
some hate
lot, and that's
views.
when we got most of our followers. Because
Oh.
when we first started, I was like talking shit on there, and like I can't. I remember one. I made some TikTok about Eminem, and people got mad at me, and then we got like a bunch of followers off of it, and I was like, all right.
What were you saying about Eminem that pissed
Say it
people
again.
off?
Just that
Say
he
it
was,
here.
just that he was bad. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. It was just
generic.
Yeah, just generic. like,
hate.
yeah.
But it's
like
like at the same
Pokemon.
time, I feel like you gotta choose them right because at the same time, if you hating on Eminem, you're trying to get those people. I don't need about the ROTC ass motherfuckers being at my shows.
It was purely just the first thing that popped in my head when I was trying to use a sound, and that was when I was posting on there like 3 times a day, and I was like, I just need to post something, but now I don't do that. And that was like peak pandemic too, where I had nothing else to do, so I was like, I'm just gonna post on here like a lot, and then I don't know, but yeah. I need to post on there again. It's been a few days. But, yeah.
What's going to be the next hot take that you post on there? And who are you starting beef with?
I don't know. See, like beef is a Twitter thing mostly.
Yeah, no, we have most of our beef on Twitter.
Having beef on there, people rub me the wrong way or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's Twitter. It's impossible to know.
Yeah.
It also doesn't matter. Like people need to get a grip. Like DIY Twitter is like constantly pissed off about something, and you know, I'm just like, come on, y'all.
I don't get a lot of it. Like I've been checking Twitter a little bit more the past few days just because I've been bored as shit, and I'm like, all right, Instagram's boring me because I'm only looking at the people that I'm friends with, and they're not being interesting right now. And I'm saying that live on a podcast to let them know.
Yeah,
I get it.
Hey friends, be better, be interesting. I don't know.
Be interesting,
boring.
Brian. Why don't you be
do things for my entertainment?
Yeah. Why are my friends that I have known for a long time in my life outside of the internet not entertaining me on the internet? Unbelievable. But then I go on Twitter and it's like, usually it's a good day. Usually everybody's on a positive note, you know, like, oh yeah, this is really cool. Or did everybody see this? It's like, yeah, awesome. Great content. And then somebody just fucking comes out of their day and they're like, y'all seen this? And I'm like, okay, now everybody's just going to be talking about that. No one can be normal. It's Twitter. Just be normal on Twitter.
I've started now that the circles are a thing. It's like anytime I'm like, this has a like 1% chance of making anyone mad. It's going on circles. I don't have the time for y'all anymore.
Too much to deal with. I ain't care.
Yeah.
There's people I trust on there that they're not gonna like
leak
your
tweets.
They're not gonna leak my tweets, or they understand also where I'm coming from.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah. I don't know who are the next. Probably like, I don't know. We've had some good ones past. Like the Van Gogh one is probably
the Van Gogh one was
like it's probably the number one. I don't know. Some dude was like, "Why do you want money for your?" Like what your band does. I think we just like ran a sale on, like,
you tweeted you were like, it was when we were paying for Speak Less, and you tweeted you're like, man, why this band shit got to be expensive?
Yeah,
and he was like, well, you should be doing it for the art. You shouldn't care about the money. You should be giving. And we were just like, yo, like we can't like give you things without money because it's expensive. Like that's, you know,
like, if we want to give you guys vinyl or CD, that costs money.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then so he was like, yeah, you should do it for the art, and then like Van Gogh would have made fun of you guys for that or some shit. I'm like, well, he also cut his ear off, so I'm not trying to do that either.
Yeah.
And then
he can only hear half of the music anyway. What does he know about good music?
He has no stereo image.
Yeah, no.
He's listening to the world in mono.
But yeah, he got like that one was one that DIY Twitter, like people that we didn't even know were like replying to him and being like, yo, you're stupid. And then he like deactivated his Twitter and disappeared. So we haven't heard from him in a while. Yeah. Sarah in the chat mentioned when we it was a goose.
Oh yeah,
it was a goose.
Some random goose. Like he had a goose avatar. So we just called him like
the goose.
What did he fight up?
He just was like, we shared Exist Warp Breaks, and he was just like, yo, this production sucks, this song sucks, you suck.
Right.
And then we were just like, all right.
Yeah.
What?
Thank you for.
It's like, wow, I didn't know you were a critical music reviewer. That's crazy.
But then he just kept going.
Yeah.
Kept going.
I kept making jokes. So that's like my thing. Like it's like if you're gonna like talk shit, I'm gonna make a joke out of it.
Well, I think I remember you made some joke about him being racist just to piss him off.
Yeah, I think I did say that.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, I bet this is the white dude on the band account doing it." And then I just replied from my account. I'm like, "Nope." Like that wasn't me.
First I'm hearing of this.
If I remember correctly, he actually did say something racist.
Yeah, I think he did. He did, and that's when you were like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And he was like, "Oh, it's probably the white guy." Like, you know.
So it's for me, like Twitter beef, at least now in 2020. Modify the rules. Like it's 3 jokes, and then if we go past that and we're still arguing, I'm done. Like I can't do it. I don't have it anymore. I don't have it in me. Been on Twitter for like a decade. and fighting the good fight in various places. I don't have it. I'm old. I'm done.
Twitter ages you.
It really does.
Yeah. The fact that there was that one discourse that some girl saying like if you participate in mosh pits, you are inherently like an abusive person. I'm like, what?
Did not like that one. I definitely avoided it.
I thought I was reading it and I thought I was misreading it. I swear to God, I was like, am I having a stroke?
Yeah. I remember they were like, crowd surfing is assault. And I was like, listen, I don't really like getting
Brian,
hit by crowd surfers, but like, y'all gotta chill. Like, it's not that serious.
They were like, I don't understand why you would go in and beat each other up. I'm like, because we're mad at Angie going to
It's like, I don't know.
Have you ever not wanted to hit somebody?
Have you never split the pit at a wall of death and then yelled at your friend across it? I'm going to fucking murder you, like, and then continue to do it. I feel like you're missing out on a really great time.
Exactly.
Have you heard these fucking riffs? Yeah. You don't want to fight.
Like,
have you heard some of these like arfs? Listen, like
you're telling me you're hearing like the Dead Ringer riff and you're not wanting to beat ass? Like, no, shut the fuck up. Come on.
It's like I am like the complete opposite. I am not a fighting man whatsoever.
No.
But that shit, you start hitting that shit.
I remember when we saw Glassjaw the first time y'all saw Glassjaw at the Warp 25 thing, and that shit started with Tip Your Bartender. I saw both of y'all just go. Just that from the first riff, and it was like, y'all clearly haven't heard that song if you're saying that, because that'll do it to you.
Like, it feels like somebody is learning and they walk into someone's house and they're like, oh, this is new to me. I've never seen this before.
And I own this house.
Why are you all hitting each other? I should let everyone know my thoughts on this. I have a platform. I have a megaphone. I'm going to tell everyone whose house I've just walked into, who's already in progress of their own existence and life and community. I got some thoughts on it. Like, I don't want to clown on that person. I do think that person deserves to be clowned on. Yeah, because you're just objectively. I'm not going to
do it. Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, like I'm reading it. Yeah. I'm worse for reading it, but at the same time, I'm like, I hope someone out there does the right job of on Twitter. Telling this person that they're very wrong and ending their whole career or something.
Like sometimes you got to get your ass beat in the quote tweets.
They're misguided. Someone need to set them on the correct path.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Is a lot of the time it's like kids, and I'm just like, I don't want to be mean to you, but like this is bad.
Especially because no offense,
you gotta bully.
It's like they got these kids, and especially with the pandemic, it's like we lost a whole like 2 years.
Yeah, it's like y'all haven't been to a show before. So
yeah, you haven't been to a show. If you got in the scene at the beginning of 2020 and you were like, I don't know, 13 at the time. Well, now you're 15, and now you want to get into this shit because you can actually go out there, but no, you don't know how the shit works.
But see, I'm gonna flip this and put it on us because a little bit on us losing recipes, and we need to teach them. Like that's the thing. Some people need to be taught. Not everything. Like let's flip it back and relate it back to me. Transition back to Pulse.
There you go.
When we first started. Thank you. When we first started, I was playing shows, and I admittedly, and this, you can roast me, I don't care, I once tore down my drums on stage.
Bastard.
That's not what you're supposed to do. Ooh. Right. Everybody fucking hates the person that does that shit.
Please.
But guess what? Guess what? Somebody came up to me that day and was like, yo, dude, that's not how it worked. And I never did it again. Mm-hmm. So that's all we need to do sometimes.
Just be like, hey,
stop that shit.
No, it's just like you're not gonna know. We're not innately gonna know all this shit.
Right.
You know?
Because I had never been like to small shows before, like being in the band. And I like the smallest shows I'd been to, like Empire and stuff. Or Live or some shit like that. Like not huge shows, but I'd never been to like a straight up DIY. Like, this is
50 people in a VFW hall
that are doing it. Yeah, VFW hall shit. So it's like I didn't know the rules. And so once someone told me the rules, never did it again because I'm not stupid. But it's like you just gotta nudge someone in the right direction sometimes. And I think a lot of like not necessarily that gatekeeping is wrong or like curating things. We need to like curate things differently. As like people have been around for a little bit. Sometimes people do need to be clowned for sure because
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you got to go through it,
and
but
sometimes
also you got to be taught.
sometimes the people who have been around got to be clowned
They got to
too.
be clowned too. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
those are some of the worst takes sometimes too, where they're just like, "We've been doing it this way, and
Yeah,
you're dumb for not doing it this way." And it's like, well,
And sometimes you don't need to do it.
you don't need to do it that way.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I will say, old punks are probably some of the worst punks.
Yeah.
But that's also from personal experience. I was watching Rancid at Riot Fest, one of the first years they came back, and I have my bow in, and I'm minding my business. I'm all the way in the back, and I'm just like, yeah, Rancid, I'm alone. This old punk dude grabs my bow and is like, I can't see anything. What are you doing? And starts like berating me. And I'm like, yo,
Lizzie, you're
what?
4'12". Like,
I'm 5'1.5".
okay, I was close.
But I was like, what does that
old
mean?
punk is like standing behind you, can't see over your bow? That's
Yeah.
wild.
It's a bow. Like
A short one.
that's why he was mad.
because he's short.
They're like, I'm
Look.
sorry you can't grow. Like, do you wanna do like the two people in the trench coat thing? Like, let's go.
Go to adult movies. It's like, okay, the idea that somebody wouldn't know, I think, is very fair, and I do think that like join the community, join the group, and like just get to learn. And the people who have been doing it for a while, people who were doing it pre-pandemic, are now here to educate you. But it does feel like there's a certain sense that people are like, this doesn't immediately accommodate me, so I need to yell about it, or I don't understand it and I'm afraid of asking any questions, so I'm gonna yell about it. And it's like, hey, this is why we're clowning on you. Not because you
Right.
don't know, but because you aren't interested in learning. You're interested in being an idiot on the internet.
It's
So
not the opinion; it's
bully
the
'em.
way you're presenting the opinion.
Yes,
Exactly.
I say
Yeah.
You
bully
can
each other.
you can have a good talk with
Yeah.
somebody if you're not gonna be loud and be like, no, this is the only way. Be like, all right, you're being silly. Like
Yeah.
bullying, sometimes it does work.
I was
It's a healthy dose.
I was very
Only
much
does.
bullied for being an emo kid in high school. I was like, all the cool kids were like, you don't listen to Led Zeppelin. And I was like looking up to these kids and they're like, no. And I'm like, I'm better for it because now I've never listened to Led Zeppelin. Look how I'm
Look at you.
I'm awesome out here.
Listen, you're not
Caleb
still
has-
listening to
I have
Led
a
Zeppelin.
running thing for me. I have never heard Stairway to Heaven in my life, and I'm seeing how far I can get in life without having heard it.
Yeah.
I literally we were in like a bar or a restaurant or something, and it came on, and I was like, Caleb. And he just knew what I meant and left. He was like, he walked out. He's like, I was like, you got like 8 minutes. You gotta.
You gotta go somewhere else, my guy.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I feel like I've probably
You probably
the
heard it,
riff, but I wouldn't know it. But then that counts for me too, because I'm just like, I don't
gotta know that
knowingly
you heard
know that it's like I could be in a guitar center or something and someone's probably playing it, but I wouldn't know.
Well, we're probably playing it really badly too, to be fair. So I don't know if that counts.
I mean, here's the thing: are they playing the full 8 minutes too on the guitar?
yeah, no, you gotta like, you gotta at least hear like some of the vocal for it to count. I feel like.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever actually heard the full thing, and I think I've tuned it out when I've had to play it
Yeah, I've never
at
listened. to
radio
it.
stations, and I've been like, I don't even fucking listen to this.
Yeah, I've refused to like. I used to teach guitar at School of Rock, and I refused to learn how to play it. So I was like, nobody better ask me to learn this because I will not learn it to teach it to you. I'm sorry. Like,
Offer an alternative as literally any other song.
yeah,
Let's
no,
learn
I
it.
will teach you any other Led Zeppelin song, even just not that one.
Like, look, we've had a lot of takes here, and we've said you can have your own, but this one, I think you should have ours. I don't think you need to have a different one than this.
Yeah.
Just don't listen to Stairway. Like,
They stole that song anyway. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
Like,
you'll be fine without listening to Stairway.
yeah.
There are no.
There's a lot of other 8-minute songs out there that are way better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. They're mostly by Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh no.
Bringing it back.
Circle. The circle.
I don't need to listen to the stage though.
No.
No. I think if we're gonna talk real Avenged Sevenfold hours, it's like up until the self-titled, the
Self-titled's
White
good.
album, and then you're good because the
Yeah.
Rev was definitely like the heart and soul of that band, and
Yeah.
they became completely different after he died. So yeah.
Correct.
I
take.
liked
Very correct.
I liked Nightmare back in the day when I was like a fan when it came out, but now I go back to it and I'm like, yeah, there's not much on here for me. But yeah, first 4 records are great. Like
That one song, "Welcome to the Family."
Yeah, I was about to
Caleb
say.
clown that shit.
yeah,
all
that
the
shit's
time.
funny.
That, like the one where
Hey,
he,
kid!
like, I'm like, dog, that is the worst shit. I
Don't
know
do
that's
that.
supposed
Call of
to be
Duty,
an emotional
Call-
record, but dog, that wasn't it.
And then they made the Black Album by Metallica Part 2 after that, and that shit was fucking garbage.
That's a
Ooh.
dog.
Yeah. The Stage had like 2 good songs on it, but that's
the self-titled was really
self-title was good.
I forgot. Doesn't that motherfucker what did he play? Did he play in Confide or something? That's their drummer now.
Yeah, the guy. No, it's not the guy that's in it now. The guy that's in it now, I think he used to be in Bad Religion, but the guy before that played for Confide.
Okay.
And he was the one that was on the record that's just
the Hail the King. Yeah, Hail to the King.
the whole time.
On
And
the floor
I remember people were just like, "Yo, you got this guy,"
and he didn't use him.
But yeah, you didn't use him at all.
Yeah. I mean,
But, Brooks Wackerman's the new guy.
That name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
he's really good.
I'm out of the Avenged Sevenfold lore now.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm out of it too.
Hope you're all doing great
now
out
they're
there.
out here selling NFTs and shit.
Yeah, I saw that because I saw M Shadows like post something and I was like, oh, like I've never like snooped on M Shadows. Let's see, and I saw NFTs at the top. I'm like, I'm going back. I don't need to see anymore.
I've
We're
seen
about to
it
start
all.
calling it Matthew's Shadows again.
Selling NFTs, making Call of Duty music.
Yeah.
He's also trying to come back with the buttrock wave.
Yeah. They're trying to do buttrock.
Do we let them though? Is the question.
I don't know.
I think other than the NFT thing, like I've heard that they are all like really cool guys.
I believe it.
But I just like I know that like M Shadows is like best friends with like the dude from NoFX apparently.
Oh, Fat
and I'm just
Mike.
like, that's weird. But
There was some recent take that he said that I was like, you know what, you're not wrong.
yeah,
And I'm surprised that you have this opinion, but
yeah.
They did grow up in the
important enough
most
for me to
conservative
go.
area of California, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
they're
I think
going
it
to
took them
grow
a
up with
while
some
to bleed
bad
that
takes.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very
I
much
think
like,
they've-
we're American, we don't care. It's like, bite,
It's like,
okay.
ugh.
Okay.
All right.
Bro, you're
I
from
remember that fucking
California.
Critical Acclaim, that fucking song, the fucking that talking part in Critical Acclaim. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man.
That song slaps though.
It does.
I love that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite butt rock song. I'm taking it back.
Crazy
But-
town,
but
more
yeah.
like crazy country.
And then I remember they played fucking around that era too. They covered Walk, and that riff is racist.
Pantera, yeah. Walk is Pantera. Walk is the
Also,
most
Vinnie Paul
racist
played
riff.
drums with them right after the Rev died, too. So,
Oh, did he?
yeah.
Oh,
It worked. Look, everyone's doing so good now. Look at how well it worked out for
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
Vinnie Paul, for everybody who doesn't know, is dead. So we somehow have gotten to an
okay.
hour. This was like just a very easy flowing conversation, and I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, how the fuck did we get to an hour already? We're gonna keep talking over on Twitch, so if you're hanging out over there, stay in the chat. We'll answer some questions. We'll keep talking for a little bit.
stay in line.
Stay in line.
Don't worry.
Hold the
We
line.
have to answer the questions.
But before we do that, I want to give a chance to shout out where people can find you on the internet, where people can start beef with you, where people can send butt rock, whatever it is. Where can people find you on the internet, listen to you? What should they check out? All the good stuff.
You can find us at Pulses DA on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok. I think we have a MySpace.
Do we?
Maybe.
I did not know.
I need to make a Tumblr. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, the main stuff. And Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal and all that good stuff. You can listen to our music. Run the Ghouls just came out. Really good. And the other song we released last year was EXO Sold Out with our boy Zach Benson. It's crazy good. Past that, you can check out our records, Speak It Into Existence, and the companion Speak Less for a cool package of 24 songs that are really cool. And we got a little EP called Yo Champ in the Making, and it's cool too.
Yeah.
And we're writing, or we finished writing pretty much. We're recording our next record that's
almost
going to
getting there.
come out this year. It will. I'm saying it.
It will come out this year.
It will come
will.
out this year.
It will come out this year.
Do we think in the later part of the year?
I think like the middle.
About the middle.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Somewhere in there.
Like
Songs of
we're
the summer.
aiming for like we're
It's got
aiming
a
for
couple
like
songs this summer on
early
there.
summer, late spring, but we'll see, Originally we were aiming for October last year and that didn't happen. But it'll happen this time. We're getting there. We're like most of the way done with most parts of it. It's just, a
Maybe
process.
another single in the next, month and a half or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Like,
where you
we
got to
all-
follow.
We'd planned on getting this out sooner, but it just wasn't supposed to be like this, and now we're here, and
Yeah.
so mid-year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, you
It's
know,
okay. It'll all get there.
it'll get there.
Yeah.
It's like all these Jesus core bands, they were like, we're just going where, we're needed by the Lord and Savior.
And
Guys, is where we need to be.
And you know what, like St. Jimmy says too, it just takes some time. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. Got it.
I'm gonna sip water real quick.
That popped into my little dumb brain like 3 minutes ago, and I was like, "Fuck it."
Mm-hmm.
I gotta hold on to this one. It's coming out.
I gotta say it. I have to say it.
I have to legally say it.
Intrusive thoughts one.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Jimmy World. All right. Well, we're going to continue the conversation over on Twitch with everybody. But if you're listening to this, if you're on the podcast audience, you're already on the platform. Just make sure that you're listening to Pulses on that same platform. If you're on Spotify, you search for that up at the top right now. Do it. You obviously like them. You listen all the way to the end. They got new stuff coming. You got to get to know the old stuff. So do it right now. Now's your time. So, check out Pulses, and we will continue talking to people over on the Twitch land. Pulses.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank y'all for being on, for having a conversation with us.
Yes,
That's great.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Gonna still be fun.